expand outside of the school to have a greater impact on the community. So I asked the research participants in the focus group specific interview questions to try to get a better understanding of why the change happened at the school. One was, what was the reputation of the school before the principal arrived? Two was, what role did the principal play in transforming the school? And three, what strategies, if any, did the principal use to change the climate and tone of the school? And I also wanted to know about resistance, obstacles, challenges. Did everybody embrace the new reform, and how did the process work from your perspective? I think this gets to the meat and potatoes, because we're trying to figure out how do you go from being a low-performing school to a school that is in good standings? And what are the challenges, what are the barriers that a principal coming into a school will face? I go back to my initial problem statement. We're losing principals in urban school areas, so we need to understand the phenomena of being a principal in an inner city school, and what are the challenges that they're going to face. So, the QMS model. Now, these are interventions that were implemented at the school by me. And these are my assumptions, my researcher assumptions, or these are the reasons why the school improved. So the first model, and I hope to show you that video again, is the TIME model. Teaching, innovation, motivation, and excellence is what TIME stood for. And it was used to develop a new school vision, to professionally develop teachers around cultural competency. So again, the model was teaching, innovation, motivation, and excellence. The second one was a hip-hop project, which was an instructional strategy. Now, both of them are connected, and let me explain to you what I mean by that. The hip-hop project, or the TIME model, was the vision for the school. The hip-hop project was taking hip-hop and integrating it into every part of the curriculum. So, for example, students, they wanted to rap about the school, student achievement, academic excellence, wearing school uniforms, embracing the new vision. And this was a way for us to shift the conversation. Because prior to that, the students were coming in, they were involved, and they were engaged in things that we would say is self-destructive. So we took rap, which is, and in my study, I dealt with that, which is traditionally known for misogynistic lyrics, gross materialism, violence, but that's not how hip-hop started. Hip-hop started as an anti-violent movement. It started as a way to address gang issues in New York City, but it became commercialized and began to glorify gangsterism. We took the same beat and developed a message behind it, and the message was, the time is now, it's time to shine. And the students talked about it. It was a way to get the students to buy into the vision, and a quick way for the students to understand the model of the school. So when you went to that school and you said to the students, what time is it? The students would go, time is now, it's time to shine. You couldn't even ask the question, what time is it, and get the real time. And they knew that time stood for teaching, innovation, motivation, and excellence. But it didn't just stop there. We ended up integrating it into the curriculum of the school. So, for example, the students who were involved in the making of the song, they had to first write a essay about what they were going to do. Then they had to transcend that into poetry. Then they had to transcend that into rap, right? So from an English standpoint, they were dealing with the academic standards, using hip-hop as a way to engage them. Secondly, students who didn't have poetic talent were still able to be involved. So we had students that were that wanted to film the project. So they actually, when you see the video, all the shots and the scenes that you see being recorded were done by students. And then they loaded it up on Apple Mac computers and learned. They used Final Cut Pro and iMovie and learned how to edit their pieces. But we connected it to the learning standards. So, for example, when you shoot, there's a thing called the POV, the point of view. In this point of view, you're shooting from a specific angle. That is, if you did a Venn diagram, that is the same as writing an argumentative essay from your point of view. When you film, what do? You film, you sequence, you storyboard, you script write. You sometimes film out of sequence and then you edit. When you write, what do? You write, you rewrite, you revise, you edit. So by being effective filmmakers, students were learning the principles of writing and applying it to a project. So I'm a big believer in project-based learning. So when we talk about the Common Core, this is 13 years ago, there's elements of Common Core embedded in this project. Also, math. The students were part of the budget committee. They had to figure out what was the budget for the project. How are we going to produce a quality project without going over costs? And then what are we going to sell the DVDs at the time for to recoup a profit to do fundraising for the school? So now they're dealing with data, graphs, charts, all embedded into their math. In science, they did a Venn diagram where they compared and contrast the eye of the camera to the human eye. In history, what were the socio-economic conditions that gave birth to the rise of hip-hop? And so it was embedded in every aspect of the curriculum. The other thing that I assumed was the reason for the improvement of the school was our PEST program. Now, you might say, what is PEST? I like acronyms. PEST stood for Parents Empowering Students Today. Meaning that if you want to get on you want your child to be successful tomorrow, be a PEST today. And the parents, they formed a security force around the school where there was within a 5-block radius in any direction. There were these PEST with jackets, walkie-talkies. They watched the students coming to school. They watched the students leaving school. They had a relationship with the local merchants, the homeowners, and the police precinct. So again, that's that outside, Fulham would describe as the outside of the inside-outside relationship where what happens in the school now goes out into the community and we build a community school partnership. So these were my assumptions of why change occurred at the school. But again, like I said, I wanted to understand this from the perspective of parents. So, let's look at this. After doing the focus group, my findings were that what I assumed was reinforced by parents. They believed that, by the focus group, they believed that the time project was effective, the PEST, and the hip hop project. And what you see is a chart here with me reporting how many times they were mentioned in the actual study, that it came up in the focus group. What I didn't assume was this concept of fun in learning, which I'm going to talk about near the end. But also there were some other things that parents said, this is key to the improvement of the school uniform policy. Prior to my arriving at that school, they had a uniform policy that wasn't enforced. And all the focus group participants, parents, teachers, and students said that uniform policy was where the shift happened. They believed that had that uniform policy not been implemented, the change that we would later on see would have never happened. They also talked about programs like the manhood training program that we had at the school, Saturday detention, PM school, which is more of a transactional thing because that was punitive. So there was transformational leadership strategies. However, there was also transactional approaches to change. They talked about the Tuck That Shirt In, which was another hip-hop thing, a pre-nursing program, and a pre-engineering program. So like I said, they did reinforce some of my assumptions, but then they had other reasons why they thought that the change took place. Sub-themes and outlines. Well, again, school uniform helped to improve students' behavior and learning outcomes, and that's quoted from parents, students, teachers. Curriculum initiatives such as the 6-week assessment, pre-nursing, pre-engineering programs helped to improve student academic performance, and the development of career college readiness programs motivated students in their interest in their academic work. So again, these are some of these were sub-themes that came out, and some of them were outliers. One of the major outliers was the development of the manhood training initiative for young men who are at risk, really helped change the climate and the reputation of the school. Now, although there was, they all agreed that the parents, the time, the hip hop were all reasons for the change. Each focus group participant assigned different level of importance to why they thought the change happened. So when I was speaking to the parents, they asserted one thing, and when I was speaking to the students, they asserted another. And I can give you an example. So if you look at this chart, you'll see that time was ranked. So this is a scale from 1 to 7 in which you would assign importance to. 1 being most important, 7 being least. When you look at time, the teachers ranked it as 3. But the parents and students, they were more like 6 and 7. And that would make sense because time was a professional development, instructional kind of tool to change. So that was where teachers placed value in terms of school improvement. If you look at visibility of the principal, which is principal practice and strategy, you'll see that again, the teachers said principal practice and strategy is critical to school reform. They said 1. The parents, 5. The students, 2. The teachers and students, they're in the school on a daily basis, so they were cued into principal practice and strategy. Where the parents, when they were there, they saw it, but they weren't there on a daily basis. So that would also make sense. If you look at theme 7, principal visibility was critical to improve student behavior and academics performance. That was interesting because I thought that the teachers would say that, but actually the ones who assigned greater importance to it were the students and the parents. So what this chart shows is that everybody agreed with the basic reasons why the school changed, but they all had different perspectives. The results within a 2-year period. So let's look at QMS right here. Tied for second to last in 2002 and 2003. Denny means that it was a part of a district that was in need of improvement, as designated by the state. So they were part of a Denny district, and they were also a city school, which at the time that was a category that they used in New York State to identify schools that were in need of improvement and were on the state list. So we're ranked over here. But if you look at moving now from 2002, 2003 to 2006 and 2007, you can see that we went in math, we went from 15.5% to 53% of the students meeting the New York State standards in math. If you look at ELA, we went from 29.7% over here, second to last, to 48% in ELA. And if you see, not only did we make longitudinal improvement, but we leapfrogged from being second to last to number 1 in the district. So that was the results of the intervention. I hope to try to play this video. 109. Guess it's time. Check your clocks. I got teachers teaching, students learning, security securing so the school is safe. I got teachers teaching, students learning, security securing so the school is safe. Hallways clean, school looks great, security securing so the school is safe. Test scores up, feeling great, security securing so the school is safe.
Hello, it's me again, rapping about my friends and family. I is 109 where I'm supposed to be. 109 got the teachers very smart. You got the illest subject, math, reading, and art. Coming hard from a genius, you dig this? I'm spitting, you spitting lyrics, not everybody with it.
Test scores up, feeling great. Security securing so the school is safe.
IS 109 is the place to be. We put school in front, ain't no activity. We looking fresh to death, we feeling good and fine. The only place to be is at 109. 109 is the best. Better than the rest. We can pass any test. Pass any test. The time to shine at 109. The time to shine at 109. The time to shine at 109. The time to shine at 109.
You ready? You ready? You ready?
Dictate, volume 2. Believe it. How?
You ready? 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 You ready?
We run this. We run this. We run this. It don't matter where you're from, it's where you're at. And if you from East Coast, West Coast, down south, represent your coast. Yeah, we run it. Yeah, we run it. Y'all don't want it, cause my coast run it. Oh, we run it. We run it.
I got teachers teaching, students learning, security securing so the school is safe. I got teachers teaching, students learning, security securing so the school is safe. Hallways clean, school looks great, security securing so the school is safe. Test scores up, feeling great, security securing so the school is safe.
You ready? You ready?
Dictate, volume 2. Believe it. How?
You ready? You ready?
We run this. We run this. We run this. It don't matter where you're from, it's where you're at. And if you from East Coast, West Coast, down south, represent your coast. Yeah, we run it. Yeah, we run it. Y'all don't
Security so the school is safe. Test scores up, feeling great. Security securing so the school is safe.
Hello, it's me again.
I'm going to skip to the recommendations and play something at the end. So, what we have here is my findings, recommendations, and to me the implications. So one is that urban school leaders and policymakers should assess and address school culture as a part of a school change effort, and that is so important. Matter of fact, it's so important that we have superintendents here in the house. I just want to offer this to you, that a lot of times we look at evaluating and assessing principals based upon what they do instructionally. But the work that they do to improve culture should be something that's factored into the evaluation and into the equation. Because like I said before, you have principals in inner city schools that are mandated with the same targeted goals of principals in suburban districts who are coming into schools with little resources, greater cultural challenges, and are expected to achieve the same results. So there should be some kind of credit given to an urban school principal who is savvy enough to address school culture. We must have a moral purpose that must guide urban school leadership. This is a mission-oriented work. Okay, when you're talking about change, we're talking about the lives of our Black and Latino children. And so it can't just be a career. I'm talking to the principals now. It can't just be something that we do as a career, but there must be a moral purpose behind what we do. Transformational leadership approaches should be included in urban school settings. I believe that is the best approach. Not to say that transactional is not important, because like I said in the beginning, often a strong transactional foundation is the basis for transformational leadership practices. But when you're talking about dealing with parents, community, school boards, and all the other stakeholders that principals are accountable to, transformational leadership, which brings everybody into the discussion, is critical. Urban school principals must embrace innovation. We have to figure out innovative ways in which to reach our young people. I used hip hop. I know of a school that had a strong church. They had a strong church community where the school was placed. So they used the gospel choir to bring parents in and to bring students into the fold. So we have to start thinking outside of the box. Urban school principals must be supported in their role as community leaders. So we know that principals started off as operational leaders, then we had the term instructional leaders added to it, and I would add community leaders. They should be supported, they should be evaluated by how they bring the community together. They should be in school districts should find ways to support principals in their work as community leaders. We know that when we're principals in schools, that we're often not just instructional people, but we're mom, we're dad, we're big brother, we're big sis. I mean, we're bringing everybody into the fold in a mentoring way, and that work needs to be validated. And last, principals and teachers should incorporate fun in the learning process. I cannot, that is such an important piece to this work. And I've heard the saying that, well, everything's not supposed to be fun. And I'm saying, says who? We have to incorporate fun in learning. I remember how I learned my ABCs. It was fun. Somebody gave me a rhyme, and that's how I learned it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. It was fun. And when I was growing up, they had Schoolhouse Rock, and they taught you about bills and how a law becomes a bill, about mother necessity. Where would we be? I learned more on Saturdays watching cartoons than I actually learned in school. So fun in learning. And what we found was that fun in learning not only increased, led to a better relationship between the students and the teachers in that school, but it actually had a direct impact on teacher morale. One of the things that the teacher focus group said consistently was, it was fun. It was fun. We liked coming to school because we were having fun with our students. We cannot, in this area of this time of high state testing, we cannot lose sight of fun and the human connection that happens between teachers and students and the impact that it has on academic achievement. Because we understand that some of the issues that are happening are not just instructional, they're social. They're social. And now that's why they're talking about restorative justice practices and things of that nature, because it's about making the human connection. So I leave you with my information. I also have a presentation of this slide and my business cards if you would like to contact me. But that's my presentation, and I'll take any questions that you may have. Yes, I do. Actually, the funny thing is that that's how I first made the connection with young people, because I was listening to their hip hop, and I was remembering the hip hop that I grew up with. And the students would see me, and it was an immediate icebreaker, because here I am, this guy in this suit, and I'm walking around, and they're doing their little raps and things like that. And I said, I can rap, and they go, you can't rap. And I would do a rap, and it would be blown. And so that's how I began to realize that, wait a minute, there's a immediate bond and connection and a relatability. And I'm glad you asked that question. And that's why they call me Dr. Blizzard, because that's my rap name.
Was that you in the video, or was it Mace?
No, that was me.
Mace.
Oh yeah, that was me.
You got Mace at the school.
No. And I do want to see if I can, real quick, pull up that video for you. And there's a documentary that goes along with that video. That one question over here.
Right, my question was pertaining to the parents and also to the teachers in terms of their buying into the whole process, because it is innovative. And we know we have different types of parents and different teachers who would not want to buy in. So what process did you use to have the buy-in for the parents and also the teachers?
Absolutely, that's a great question. Well, again, there was barriers and resistance. Some parents thought that, what's he doing using hip hop? Some teachers were concerned that the messages in hip hop had anti-schooling themes. But I think once we helped the parents to understand and the teachers that we were simply just taking the same beat and introducing a different message, there was buy-in. And so it took transformational leadership approaches: engagement, discussion, debate, and then buy-in. And then of course, as Fuller said, we supported the teachers in thinking outside of the box and helping them come up with curriculum strategies that will help reinforce the message that we were trying to get across. Thank you.